Welcome to the mCollect demo. So mCollect is basically the Android version of the data collection client. It can basically run on Android devices like smartphones and tablets, and it works in disconnected mode of operation. So you can collect data in disconnected mode. So let me click on mCollect. I'm greeted by the login screen. Let me fill in my credentials. I'll log in as guest. Click on login. So I'm basically logged into the application. I have one demo form which has already been downloaded on my system. I click on it and I go to data capture mode. Click on capture. So this is how the form looks like in data capture mode. And there are three buttons on top of the screen. The most important one is file. So basically there are two options here. So first one is save as draft. It's basically when you are entering a data and you want to get back to it later on, then you can save it as a draft. And when you're finished with your data collection, then you can click on submit so that it gets ready for uploading. Then the next button is navigation. It's basically for navigating between pages inside a form. But in this case, it's a simple form, so I'll not be using navigation. And finally, there's the close button. It's basically when you want to cancel your data collection and don't want to save your changes, then you can click on close. So let me start filling in the form. The first question is patient ID. It's basically a number type of question. If I try to fill in some alphabets, it doesn't take them in. So I have to, let me fill in some numbers. So next question is first name. It's basically a string type of question. So there are no restriction on characters. So let me fill in a first name. So next question is a special question. It's a required question. And basically you can see a red dot which is on top of the screen. What this indicates is there's an error in this form, and this won't allow me to submit the form unless I fill in that. So suppose I try to submit, it doesn't allow me to submit the data and it shows that error. So let me fill in the last name. So next question is gender type. It's basically a simple single select question. So let me select male. Now the next question is, do you smoke? It's basically a skip logic type of question. Depending on the answer to this question, the next question will appear or disappear. So suppose I say, do you smoke as yes. How many cigarettes a day do you smoke? This question appears if the question is yes, answer is yes, and I can fill in some data. If suppose I say, do you smoke as no, the next question disappears. And it doesn't make sense. If somebody doesn't smoke, then you need not ask him how many cigarettes he smokes. So the next question is birth date type. It's basically a date type of question. So let me just, if I click on birth date, I get a calendar widget. So it's a bit unclear, but I can select something. Yeah, okay. So I have the date entered. Now the next question is decimal type. So let me fill in a decimal value here. So the next question is multi-select question. As you can see, there are 4 options here, and I can select as many options as I want. So let me select football and hockey. So the next question is, think of a 4-digit number. It's basically a validation type of question. And once I enter, I can show you how the thing is validated. Suppose I enter a 3-digit number, it shows me a red dot. Suppose I enter one more, the red dot disappears because it's a 4-digit number. Suppose I enter one more, the red dot appears again. So now suppose I try to submit this data with the error in the form. Let me go to File, click on Submit. It doesn't allow me to submit the data. And as you can see, it's selected here, showing me that there's an error. So let me correct this. So next question is a calculation type of question. It says enter a number. So suppose I enter a number 2. So the square of that value 4 appears here. Suppose I say 25, the square of 25 is 625. It's correctly shown here. So next two questions, start time and end time, are very special questions. As you can see, start time shows the time of starting the filling of the questionnaire, and the end time shows the end time of the filling of the questionnaire. As you can see, it's empty because the questionnaire is still being filled in. So this will hold a value once I submit the data. So now I've completed the filling of the data. Let me submit the form. It says your data was saved successfully. Now you can see there's one response here. I can get back to it. I click on it. I go to View, click on All. It shows me a green record. I click on it and I click on Open. And I get back my record which I just filled in. And you can see the end time has been filled in here. So let me get back. Let me close this. Now I'm back to the main screen. I want to show you something like an incomplete data where you can get back to your data which has not been completely filled. So suppose I click on it and I click on Capture. Let me start filling in the form. Now my form is incomplete and you can see a red dot here. The last name has not been filled in, so I can't submit this data. So now I go to File and I click on Save as Draft. It says saved as draft successfully. And as you can see, there's one incomplete form and 2 responses that have come here. Now if I want to get back to it, I go to View, click on All. And I see 2 records, one is green, one is red. I click on the red record which is incomplete. I click on Open. And I get back my form. Let me finish completing this data. I go to File and Submit. Now it says your data was saved successfully. And now both the records have turned green because both of them are complete. So let me get back. Now I can just go to Home and start uploading the data. Click on Upload Data. So now this will connect to the server and it says 2 data uploaded successfully. So, and you can see the responses are 0 because they have been sent to the server. Now I can just log out from the application and I quit from the application. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.